3.2 external projects, Project 7, professional practice case studies. This is my reflective video for Project 7. I think Project 7 was a little bit slower. I think I found it a little bit more difficult to balance the theory side of things because there was a lot going on with the course materials, where we were asked to look at case studies on relevant textile practitioners. So I selected ones that I was particularly appealed by, and sat and listened to each of the individuals and made notes on my blog, and some ideas. Then I have gone into more depth with my own case study. I didn't use any imagery. I thought it was important to go a little bit more in depth with some written work. And then this expanded, and I put together, for my scholarly report, I'm going to do 4 case studies. So the coursework materials did help support this and get me into a rhythm. So what I've put together is a Padlet, which is on my tutorial blog page for my tutor to have a look at. I've put a proposal of 4 people that are all relevant with dyslexia, knitting and creativity. The Padlet is very detailed, quite in depth, with introductions from 4 of the candidates. I put together a list of first round questions and then put together a second round of questions, which I'm still just waiting some feedback on. And all of this is going onto the Padlet. I'm going to allow my tutor to have a look at this, and this Padlet will conclude the research and whereabouts I want to go with the case studies. And then I've just got to get down to deciding how I'm going to present. I think I want to present possibly with a video and audio. So I shall, plan with that. All of the relative information, research and so forth, and any project changes is put onto my flexible project plan, which again, Padlet is being used. I find this a very good source and a particularly good tool to have. Also as well, my peers and my tutor can view these at any one point. Also as well, I have been having my machine knitting lessons. I had a secondary knitting lesson with Andrew. So this has really turned into a supportive collaboration. He regularly makes contact with me to how I'm going on, and any spare part really that we kind of search and find on places like eBay and the Bond websites. It's useful to build up some of the tools and so forth. And he kindly took the machine away again, dismantled and replaced all of the needles and gave it a good overhaul. So my Bond Elite knitting machine is operational and feels like brand new. So I now have 2 Bond Classic knitting machines and a Bond Elite. And this does allow me to set the machines up, and if I'm kind of doing detailed or bigger pieces, I can start them, go on to another piece and then come back. So what I've done on my blog post is I've put together what he's been teaching me, and what he was teaching me, some of the techniques, has actually started to form a design process for some knitted samples. And I think for Project 8, I am probably going to prepare more design and more knitted samples rather than produce large-scale samples for video and photography. I really want my tutor to see how my new learning and development is taking place, because basically at the beginning I knew absolutely zero about knitting machines. So this will be good for her to see my development, and also as well for me to develop my own design skills. In Project 7, I did change the colour palette from some of the school reports to looking at some bespoke school blazers of stripes, and then this extended to rugby shirts. So that'll be quite fun because some of the colours are quite interesting. And then what I need to do is I need to narrow all of this down and then just select some of the colour palettes. On the blog page for my tutor to view, I have some large scale textile pieces, and I dwindled down some of the information, introducing still the major red line for dyslexia, and dyslexia is my superpower. These photographs are just all visual because she recommended that she wanted me to present on a blog what I want her to see, because again I do quite a lot of work. I present Padlets with my research and sketchbooks, and then a Padlet for practical work, and then videos. And then I think what happens is, because there is such a lot of work of my processes and so forth, it just makes the time a little bit more limiting. So I've reduced a lot of that down. Again, I will use that skill for Project 8 just to simplify, and then if at any one point somebody wants more insight of written work and so forth, all of this can be viewed on the actual Padlets, which are always set above and at the beginning of my blog page. So as a reflective, possibly stroke midpoint review, I would say that everything that has been pushed into 3.2 external projects has been very relevant, even from the early stages of sample making, where I was researching the ideas of play and what is play and unstructured play, and some of the sampling wasn't necessarily going anywhere till key moments happened. But overall, I think it's all relevant, and it's followed a process to get me where I'm at present with some of the work. So I'm quite pleased, and all is quite positive. I think there will always be, with in any practitioner's work, some tweaks and having lots of ideas that you do need to let go of, and just to focus and centralize everything to one particular idea and theme. But I think for me that will always be ongoing. But I also think what 3.2 will build up, it will build up a portfolio of work for me to then, which I have previously mentioned, for me then to carry on to 3.3, and then show and extract relevant pieces that I then can take forward and further develop. I'm still waiting to hear off Kidderminster Carpet Museum, because I would love within 3.2 to be able to go into the museum, do some photography work and do some video, and actually write up a practitioner's statement of where I'm at with my work. It's not necessarily going to have an exhibition, because they don't have time at this point. And also the opening for Project 8, I may try to get Henry back in to do a collaboration of some new ideas that I've got with dyslexia and the relationship with ballet. If not, I will possibly have to do my own photographs and my own video footage with me participating, which I don't mind, with some ballet movements, with the samples, the large-scale samples that I've exhibited in my blog page for Project 7. So I will make an outline for Project 8, but I am pretty much kind of wanting to slightly go back to more design ideas, show a little bit more development with the technical aspect with the knitting machine, stroke with mixed media, and do some presentations of some illustrations of more further ideas, and pushing some of these ideas with the knit.